Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's talk about liberating the Iraqi dinar, shall we? Unshackling the Iraqi dinar. Iraq possesses over 100 billion in reserves parked at the U.S. banks, rendering it dependent on U.S. officials' goodwill. This is what I was speaking about before, that the United States has to approve most everything that the Iraqi government does, which means Iraq is not in a good position. And the reason for that is they have to do whatever the American government wants. And the American government, not only do they not have the best interest for its own people in America, but you think they're going to have what's best for the Iraqi people? No, they're more interested in these big corporations and doing what they can do to hold down the value of the Iraqi dinar. So on January the 1st, 2024, Iraq will ban all transactions involving the U.S. dollar. The primary objective behind this decision is to risk control over the fluctuating black market exchange rate and bolster the utilization of the Iraqi dinar. The catalyst for this transformation has been an extended bout of currency instability, accumulating in escalating prices and waves of civil unrest over the past half year. And that's one thing you don't hear a lot about in the dinar community is the civil unrest. I've mentioned it. It's an issue, but you don't hear anybody talking about it. And making sure that there is stability within the people is one of the steps that's needed for the Iraqi exchange rates to increase. The dinar's precarious trajectory has been exacerbated since November 2022. Largely attributed to a stringent U.S. regulation governing international money transfers. These measures stem from deliberations in Washington regarding the diversions of U.S. dollars to Iran, Syria, and Lebanon via Iraq's central bank's foreign currency auctions. This is what I was talking about. The currency auction window is used to do a lot of nefarious things. So you see, it's not just that they're sending money to Iran, but also Syria and Lebanon. And unless that stops, you're not going to see anything change in Iraq. The strategic transition raises pertinent questions about the future standing of U.S. dollars as the predominant global reserve currency, hinting at the dawn of a more multipolar world order. Iraq's hysterical attachment to the U.S. dollar for international dealings, reserves holdings, and oil trading has been a long-standing tradition, but it comes with its set of complications. Iraq possesses over 100 billion in reserves parked in the U.S. banks, rendering it highly dependent on U.S. officials' goodwill to avert economic catastrophe. Since 2003, all revenues from Iraq oil have been channeled into the account under the purview of the U.S. Federal Reserves, effectively granting Washington a lever to influence Iraqi's economic landscape and avert political pressure. Furthermore, the capricious nature of the U.S. dollar, combined with the shifts in U.S. fiscal policy and economic sanctions, has rendered Iraq susceptible to considerable financial vulnerabilities, eroding its monetary sovereignty and obstructing the pursuit of its economic diversification. Iraq's shift towards de-dollarization holds promise to multiple fronts. Firstly, diversifying currency reserves help mitigate the risk associated with oscillating value of the U.S. dollar, bolstering economic stability. Additionally, the adoption of alternative currency can pave the way for expanded trade prospects and draw investments from non-U.S. quarters, fostering economic expansion and reducing susceptibility to geopolitical influences. Iraq's de-dollarization strategy is intrinsically tied to its pursuit of great economic self-reliance and enhanced sovereignty. As it stands, the local currency, the Iraqi dinar, maintains an exchange rate of approximately 1,300 dinars per U.S. dollar. Iraq's move to de-dollarize reflects a global trend where nations aim to reduce reliance on U.S. dollars in international trade. China and Russia spearhead this effort, advocating for the use of their own currencies, the yuan and ruble, in global transactions. China's recent purchase of LNG using the yuan from the UAE and India's agreement with the UAE to settle trade in rupees exemplify the shift. Furthermore, the BRICS New Development Bank is advancing de-dollarization by welcoming new members such as the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Argentina, Iran, and Ethiopia, and initiating 3-year de-dollarization plan with the focus of fostering local currency lending, diminishing dependence on the dollar, and further challenging its global reserve currency status. Again, that's going to be challenging only because nobody trusts Russia nor China. And what you're going to notice is those countries that are jumping aboard with the BRICS nation, for the most part, most of them, not all of them, most of them are under one sanction or another from the United States. To them, that's their way of getting out of it. China's expanding economic influence in Iraq, closely linked to its BRI, plays a pivotal role in Iraq's de-dollarization journey. The BRI presents opportunity for trade, infrastructure growth, and investment in Iraq. China actively promotes the internationalization of the yuan, which could assume a more sustainable role in Iraq's economy. Why would you jump out of one fire pan into another? The smart thing is to go with a basket of currencies and create a new one, instead of letting one currency control your economy. However, it's important to note that the yuan faces certain limitations, particularly due to the capital controls that currently restrict fund transfers in and out of China. Despite Beijing's ongoing efforts to enhance the international use of its currency, the yuan shares in global trade transactions remain relatively modest at an approximate 4.5%. However, the question is whether the US dollar can maintain its status as the world's primary reserve currency can no longer be disregarded. Despite the uncertainties that lie ahead, Iraq's shift away from the dollar offers a glimpse into a changing world order where the dollar supremacy encounters growing obstacles. Now look, we spoke about this many a times. Let's just be honest. Our government has been bullying people for a long time. And if you don't give them what they want, they'll make up some excuse to come after your leader, claiming that they got weapons of mass destruction or that they're torturing and killing their own people, whatever excuse they need to get them removed out of power. And then they'll install a government that they want, and then they control that country. This is part of that NWO movement we see taking place, but now you have people speaking out against it. They don't want it anymore. So the reluctancy to allow China and Russia to control things, I think, again, is our saving grace. If BRICS nations were smart, they would just have a basket of currencies and create a different currency that all nations can use. But I certainly wouldn't push the yuan, and I certainly wouldn't push any other country's own currency as a reserve currency, or you'll just end up in the same position that you are now. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I am out.